as I was saying, the ideas of one man. Wait. Oh, shit. I started at the wrong place. Damn it, Einstein. The supply chain is Have you noticed lately that your average everyday items have been either more expensive or just completely unavailable? Well, I can tell you why and how it's Amazon's fault. Kinda. In part, at very least. Oh, God. Oh, I got it right this time. So, I pre-ordered something a couple months ago, and it was the first time I ever done that just because I never liked the idea of having to order it and then wait however long is personal. But I've been writing these videos for a while, and I knew there was one thing missing for production, and that was these microphones. They're just perfect for what I need. So when I was able to order them, I was just like super excited. It was fantastic. And if you've ordered anything recently, you may have noticed something's going on with them, with the orders. They're taking quite a while to get to, aren't they? My version of the story starts back around a century or so ago. We were shipping items in non-standardized containers, and when they got to the docks, they were moved from the trucks to the warehouse. And once they were in the warehouse, they were moved onto pallets. And once they were onto pallets, they were moved onto the cargo ship. Give me a second here, this is the dangerous bit. Once they were on the cargo ship and down in the cargo hold, the dock workers' job was done. And all this work was consolidated by the ideas of just one man. We've been shipping the same way for a very long time throughout human history, and up until the Industrial Revolution, everything was the same. But after the Industrial Revolution, things changed up a bit. It sped up in production, so shipping had to speed up as well. And then something went on in the beginning and the middle of the 20th century that I couldn't find a lot of information on. Weird. And then in the 1950s, a Mr. Malcolm McLean, who is to thank for the current giant shipping industry that we have now, sold his trucking company and borrowed $47 million from banks in order to start his massive shipping empire. And what do you need to start a massive shipping empire? You need people. But sometimes, people can be a problem. I'll need these for later, trust me. Just trust me. Oh, Jesus Christ. Stupid. Oh my God. Mr. Rogers never had to deal with this. Ah. Oh, jeez. Oh, get it wrong. Math is difficult, I keep telling them. How hard it is to do videos and time travel. Anyway. Oh. As Mr. McLean was trying to get the shipping containers you see everywhere going, the dock workers were concerned about this level of technology taking their jobs. Because what happens if you put a shipping container in place of a dock worker who moves from dock to ship? See, it can't. Nice. Oh, I thought I lost you. God dang. Anyway. So, they fought it. Reasonably so. Up into the 1960s, when the Mechanization and Modernization Agreement went into place. And this just said that any longshoreman who was working full-time before the agreement would get benefits and pay if they were fired because of a shipping container, like if the job was taken over by such. And they were able to do this, the companies, because of the huge ginormous monetary gain, time and money, with the cargo containers. But yeah, my point is, dock workers fought the modernization of the industry. Stop its progress. You know, this hurts every time I go through one of these. No. Oof. I mentioned before how Amazon's to blame for our current situation with the shipping issues. Taking 4 months to get your stuff, except from Amazon. Back in 2015, they joined the Federal Maritime Commission, which allowed them to start growing their giant shipping empire on the sea. And then all the way up until 2018, they had an order for 5,000 land vehicles for continental shipping. Around the same time, they started getting cargo ships from China that were fully Amazon, no Walmart enjoying it, no grandpa's store down the road enjoying it, just a full cargo ship of Amazon, because they could afford it at that time. All these factors leading up to Amazon being one of the biggest shipping companies in the entire world. Fighting modernization, that's the theme of today. Back in the last century, the workers tried to fight off the cargo ships and the cargo holds that were gonna revolutionize shipping industry. And nowadays, the workers are ringing the same bells. The only difference is the cargo containers of yesterday are the automation of today. And by that I mean, mostly today in the US, dock workers are fighting off automation for the safety of their jobs. Unfortunately, with every other safety measure in the world, this one has consequences. For the last several years, somebody in fact I couldn't even figure out just with internet research, America's shipping industry has been on a teeter-totter like a ship on a wave. 40% all shipments coming through one port in the US, and that's LA. And until this year, correct me if I'm wrong, but federal regulations wasn't a thing in ports. It's all the local government that had to deal with it. So mixing the 40% through one port and the fact that unions are trying to keep automation out of it, and that we have just one vector to bring all these shipments in through, be it the cargo containers from ship to train to truck. It only took one contagious virus to push it down on its butt. You see, with the C word spreading across humanity so quickly, no, not c***, although there are a few more of those too lately, the shoremen were sure to get sick. It was only a matter of time. So as they did get sick and stayed home, this dropped the workforce down dramatically. That dominoed its way down to the shipping times of items going up and up, as well as the shipping prices going up and up with them. For example, in 2019, the best estimate I could find for a container to ship from China to LA was $2,500 to $2,000 US. And as of September 2021, the best estimate I could find was $15,000 for one container, and as high as $20,000 for one container. But you know who aren't paying those rates? The company that planned ahead. Amazon now manufactures their shipping containers in China, which is pretty beneficial considering they ship everything from China nowadays. They've also moved their port from LA to Portland, go figure, because LA has been backed up for weeks and weeks and months. They must have seen these problems way before everyone else because they figured out how to solve them before they even existed. It's also weird for a company to even own their own containers, but they figured out how to benefit in world panic. Even though no other disease had hit the shipping industry quite like COVID, it seemed like with the way Amazon planned ahead in 2015, having all their ships and airplanes lined up, that they thought something might happen to the shipping industry. But they weren't the only ones. Back in 2012, Toyota had a massive earthquake at one of their plants that made the computer chips for their vehicles. And so they were out of luck for a while until they could figure out how to get the shipments back in order. So they implemented this idea to have a 6-month period where they would take the chips and put them into storage. That way they could be 6 months ahead or on time if anything went wrong again. And chips are small enough that they're easy enough to store in a warehouse, so it worked out well. So they didn't have much trouble in 2020 when everything hit the fan. So I'll give you one guess on which car company didn't do too badly in 2020. Try to find a used car nowadays. Expensive. You see, normally, be it 3 or so years ago, it would take a cargo ship 2, maybe 3 days to get into LA, drop all their stuff off, and scuttle on across the Pacific. Nowadays, instead of a couple of days wait, it's a couple of weeks wait. Up to 45 days, ships are just sitting there floating, wasting time, money, and everything else. Except for Amazon. Ocean freight analyst Steve, last name, told CNBC that he tracked recently a Amazon ship out of LA that had a turnaround of just 2 days. And be it that 40% of all US shipments come through LA, the backups are getting pretty messy. Also realizing that the US isn't the center of the universe. Last October 2021, China had major flooding in the coal-producing region of Shaanxi. That plus COVID really just shut everything down, anything coming out of Shaanxi, slowing down the world even further. So yeah, most of what you and I order isn't going to get to us on time like we're all accustomed to. And some estimates say that these problems aren't going to be fixed until like 2024. I'm hoping for sooner, but it's kind of like we're back in the 50s, where you'd send off a catalog and it gets to you when it gets to you. Except we have the internet, so everything's much worse. It's just what happens when you make overseas commerce the biggest industry in the world. If it topples over, there's nothing to catch it. Maybe someday soon we'll be close enough, whether it's through technology or something, where none of these problems will matter. And maybe someday soon, we'll have space commerce to worry about. Oh, give me a second here. Sorry. That way, really, none of this will matter. And all this because I wanted some microphones. This work was consolidated by the ideas of just one man. I do my own stunts, Tom Cruise, hire me. All right, I need help. Oh, don't! I'm in pain. I'm actually handcuffed, I can't get up. That's the main part. My shin actually really hurts. I'm kind of pulling it up a little bit, but this really hurt. I think I'm bleeding in so many places. Ooh. Good God. We've been shipping the same way for a very long time in human history, throughout human history. All to start is massive shipment. Put the wrong sleeve on. Who's spoiled this? People are the problem. See, with the C word spreading through humanity so quickly, no, not. Hold on. You shipped one container, and that's just 2 years apart.
and yada yada yada, sada sada sada. Let me do this little pause here, like and I'm not gonna do your phone.
Thank you for watching to the very end. If you're wondering about the framing, I have a music video to get to after this, and I'm not wearing the appropriate pants. Anyway, it was about 7 or 8 months ago. I was here filming last, and it was really just a test video to see if I could even film what I wanted to film, and it came out exactly as I pictured. What you saw is what I had in my head. There was a few bumps along the way, but some scenes even turned out better than I thought, thanks to some of the people that I worked with. And I want to keep making these episodes because I have several ideas for it, and this one helped me grow as a filmmaker and an editor. So that's where I ask for your help. If you want to see more of these episodes, you can click the link below and consider contributing. You'll be helping out the channel, me, and everyone I work with. You'll be put in the credits, and you'll be getting extra goodies like behind the scenes and VFX stuff and all that. So thank you again for watching the end of the episode. If you decided to contribute, thank you, and I just wanted to give you the option to support if you felt like it. And have a day. Now, I would have walked off into a portal, but you know, time kind of ran low. I'm filming this 2 days before the premiere, so all you get is the sound.